On the heels of Road America, the GRIDLIFE community is riding a wave of energy after our late summer apex at the National Park of Speed. With Circuit Legends and Lime Rock Park coming in just a few weeks' time, the GRIDLIFE iRacers group was hankering for some sim racing action just to hold them over. Welcome to Virginia International Raceway, where we're going racing tonight in back-to-back 15-minute races with our old H-pattern friend, the Ford FR500 Mustang. They built these things to go straight and straight only, but this field is going to give them a summertime workout in the Virginia heat. Hi everybody, Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian DeCuna. And boy, it's been a while, hasn't it, Finian, for some GRIDLIFE iRacers action with the old Ford Mustang at VIR.
Yeah, it feels very nostalgic for us on this channel. We covered that car racing all around all the great American racetracks for quite a while in some TV, and it has been a while, but here we are back at VIR for an interesting challenge for these drivers. Not only is VIR just a challenging course in and of itself, you mentioned the car we're using, the Ford FR500 Mustang. Thing is a handful to get around any track, especially one as technical as VIR.
Yeah, this is a tricky racetrack, especially in cars that don't have a lot of downforce or have a lot of weight. It's trickier still when the track is warm. The track temp isn't really deep into triple digits, but it is very humid out there. 95% humidity. I promise you, if you were at this virtual racetrack, you would be dripping. I was just here about a week and a half ago in conditions almost exactly like this, maybe about 30 degrees cooler on the ambient. It was gross, but in the virtual world, it is a nice sunny day, and it's time to go down and head in for qualifying, Finian. And it's about a 21 car field, so not enormous, but it is a high quality field with almost half of them being current GRIDLIFE Touring Cup competitors, and another third or so are the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship competitors, so it is a stout field with lots of familiar names.
Yeah, a lot of familiar names, a lot of familiar talent, and I think that's going to be interesting to see who's going to be the drivers we expect to see near the top. I think one definite name we expect to see near the top is DJ Alessandrini in the number 10 machine. You can see him riding on the back straightaway here. Everyone starting, or I think have already started their first lap due to the way pit road is placed. So 2 laps for these drivers in qualifying, 8 minutes for them to get around. They're going to need all that time because this is a fairly long track.
Yeah, DJ hit me up earlier in the week. He said, hey, if we did something that you would want to do, would you fire up a broadcast? And I said, well, what are we talking? Maybe some Mustangs somewhere at VIR. And this is the combination that they went with, and excited to be back here, not for a series, but just for a one-off here. So you mentioned DJ Alessandrini. Another driver that's been very quick in practice is Austin Cobb, coming straight off of his weekend at Road America in his Mazda MX-5, painted in very similar colors to this Mustang. And he is really a big fan of this car. He tends to do very well in it. We see him at the front all the time.
Yeah, he's usually one to be kind of poking and prodding up there with DJ, trying to poke holes in his defense, usually for the lead. And as the first couple drivers come across the start-finish line, start to see some times get on the board. And actually, never mind. It looks like I think they get the extra lap around. I think it gives them that 1 lap because they crossed the start-finish line, but
yes,
their actual timing starts this time around.
So you'll notice some names on the left-hand side of the ticker. We documented 2 of them already that are current or past GRIDLIFE Touring Cup competitors. Dana Basinski is another one, coming off of one of his best finishes in his GLTC career. He's working his way down the front straightaway at the moment. Richard Sawicki is the winner from Road America in the Falcon Sunday Cup category in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship. So he's here in a very different, more powerful machine. Nicholas Fuller coming off his second weekend at GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, and a handful of others, including Thomas Lathrop. He's back with us here, so is Kevin Zhu and Azmath Muhammad, who is in the NOS Energy Track Battle Championship. So there is so many drivers, Peter Zhang, and more, that have been a part of this for quite some time. And some GRIDLIFE iRacers regulars like Andrew Pilata, who's back again to fight in the Mustang.
Yeah, and we've always seen Andrew really one of those drivers you got to throw into the mix when you talk about drivers out of front of a Mustang field. He's actually won quite a few of the races. I think if DJ's been on a low day, or he's been able to get on by, we've seen Pilata been able to work a way around. Speaking of DJ, he's now working down the back straightaway, so he'll be, I think, one of the first couple of drivers to come across the start-finish line, get a chance to see where the benchmark is going to be for qualifying.
About 325 horsepower in these cars. They weigh about 3,600 pounds. They are a beast to navigate around a track like this, and it is technical. There's a lot of places where it's a very single groove racetrack. You have to really navigate, straight line it out. These curbs here are critical. Get back on power as soon as possible. Solid rear axle in this car, so no independent rear suspension. You got to fight it at times. We'll see what Alessandrini can do. He should be one of the first to put a time on the board alongside Austin Cobb. And across the stripe, Alessandrini puts a 2:02.844 and goes to the top over Cobb by 9/10 of a second.
Wow, that's a really big margin there, 9/10 of a second between himself and Cobb. Kevin Zhu, another almost second off the pace, and behind as the first fuel chimes trickle on down. Take a look here. This is Lathrop coming across the line in the number 7 machine. For him, he will go across. Where does he end up? In the midfield, near the back, near the front? It'll be more towards the back, 4th at the moment.
Ryan Carwile up to 3rd place in his number 71. Lloyd Kerr, not a name that I'm familiar with. This is an open session. Anyone was able to join. No password tonight. Not familiar with Floyd from the GRIDLIFE community. Might be joining us from outside of it. But either way, a pretty decent qualifying effort. Peter Zhang up to 2nd place. He's been really impressing me in the iRacing world here this year, but also in the real world. Has an LS swap Scion FRS that he's got in GLTC and drove that up to a top 15 and has just been having a pretty great season with that car as well. But putting up a time quicker than Austin Cobb in a Mustang is a pretty hard feat to do.
Really is, and you mentioned it, he's been a driver that's been going higher and higher up on the scoring pile on every single time he gets out there, and really any car you kind of throw him in. But he unfortunately get usurped for 2nd place because Andrew Pilata in the 96, he's just jumped up to 2nd place, only 4/10 off of DJ Alessandrini.
Perhaps no surprise there. Here's a run up through the S's on board with Peter Zhang here, and this is a straight line flat to the floor, and GT threes it up. See if Zhang has to lift. Right there is a big lift. Muscle it back over to the right, turn it in. Trick that car into changing direction. It's like steering an ocean liner at times. Then on the brakes for the Oak Tree corner. Oak Tree no longer standing, but still a fantastic sequence of turns that lines you up for this run down Madison Avenue, right out to the edge of the road. And now you're in this car's strengths up the straightaways.
Yeah, not many of them around this track, but this is one of the main ones, and this is going to be a major passing opportunity, I think, for a lot of these drivers. Get the slipstream whatever they can. With this car having the aerodynamic properties of a refrigerator to head down the straightaway and into a awkward braking zone, to say the least.
Who did your aero, Ford or Frigidaire? Nicholas Fuller got the brake rotors glowing on this car already, running a BMW over on the GLTC side. He's relatively new to us, joined us at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course and at Road America. Hope we'll see him at Circuit Legends next month. Next month, August is tomorrow. How time flies.
Yeah, honestly, it really is surprising how much how August has kind of crept up on I think everyone. The July flew by.
And Fuller across the line at a 2:06.224 puts him 14th. Dana Basinski still hasn't put a time on the board. I think we're expecting a pretty decent one here, huh?
Yeah, not for lack of trying. He made a mistake on the first lap and got the off track, so here it comes across the start-finish line for him. Will he get on the board this time? It doesn't look like it. I don't think so.
Yeah, not going to put him up on the board just yet.
Andrew Pilata in the 96. He's looking pretty quick. Might just have a time to beat DJ.
Needs a 2:02.104. It's a 2:02.397. Puts him 2nd place, only 3/10 back. Not bad. Asmaf Muhammad up onto the back straightaway. Reed Shannabrook went 6th. And so Ryan Middleton, Dana Basinski, Murphy Nichols, the only drivers that have not laid down a time. But time has expired. Muhammad is not going to get a chance to improve on his time. And we'll head to the first of our 2 15-minute races here in just a moment. And I believe we're doing standing starts for this one as well, Finney. And you better get your clutch foot ready to slip because this thing's got a box full of neutrals if you don't get it just right.
Yeah, I was going to say H-patterns have been catching a lot of people off guard, and I think the reason is a lot of race cars are moving away from typical H-pattern shifters, so it's becoming more and more of a rare skill to nail down, and you're going to really need a nail getting up to the gears. You can see there the pace car off on pit lane, so it is going to be a standing start. 21 Mustangs lining up on the grid.
Yeah, quick look. Well, I was going to show you the starting lineup, but they're already gridded, so it's time to go racing here at Virginia International Raceway. I think we're missing only a few more drivers, so we won't get a chance to run through our entire lineup here. But DJ Alessandrini, Andrew Pilata, Austin Cobb, your top 3 qualifiers. Have another quick look at the weather here. 87-degree track temp. That is cool, but the humidity is very, very high. And now we wait.
Yeah, waiting for the last 2 drivers to jump on the grid.
Thought we were already gridded. It gave me the lights on my keyboard, but I think it might have just been RGBing.
Oh.
So.
Oh, you still have that plug-in.
Yeah. Clearly I should turn it off, but.
Still missing the top 3 yet to grid.
Well, let's have this opportunity real quick to run through our starting lineup. DJ Alessandrini, Andrew Pilata on the front row, then Austin Cobb, Floyd Kerr in row number 2, Kevin Zhu, Reed Shannabrook in row number 3, Raul Iriart, and Peter Zhang in row number 4. And there we've got the grid sorted. And let's get things started here. 15 minutes on the board. GRIDLIFE iRacers, Mustangs at Virginia, green flag, and we're racing in race 1. Nice clean getaway for Alessandrini in the blue and silver. Also, trouble behind him. Cars tangling and crash in turn 1. Didn't get a look at how that started.
And a spin as well. Ooh, absolute chaos in turn 1.
That was not expected. We'll go back and look at that a little later, but it's going to spread out the field quite a bit here at the front. Pilata makes it through to second. One of those was Austin Cobb that got turned around. Third place starter. And Peter Zhang has made it through to third.
Yeah, a lot of old big names near the front. They got either hit hard or got tapped or spun out as they've been struggling to get up to speed.
So Austin Cobb there just comes to a grinding halt. Let's see.
Yeah, that was after him. He got T-bone here. That was Reed Shannabrook that went off to the right there in the green and white car. He missed one, got hit again by the orange car.
And then just a spin there by, I think that was Floyd Kerr. Just throttled up and spun the tires. Got off the racetrack pretty quickly, but not without Alessandrini and Pilata making hay up there at the front. They have already distanced themselves from Peter Zhang.
Yeah, taking advantage of the chaotic start to put some distance. In fact, the entire top 3 have kind of really put a distance to the rest of the field. Mitchell Marhefka in 4th, Long in 5th, with Carwell following right in behind. There's Murphy Nichols as well in behind Adam Kovac in 7th, Nichols in 8th.
Yeah, Murphy Nichols started 18th, getting 10 spots through all that carnage. Didn't get a qualifying lap in, but now he's going to have a run up to Kovac for 7th place. This long run up Madison Avenue, you're going to see speeds north of 130 miles an hour here.
Yeah, and 8th actually not too bad of a place to be in as he's riding in behind. Kovac looks like he's going to stay in behind as they head on through. But 8th not too bad of a place to be in because there is going to be an invert at the end of race number 1. Race number 2 will be a top 8 invert.
Yeah, that's a pretty deep invert for a 21 car field too, so you know, not a bad place to be, you're right, but I think he'll try to make up some more spots if he can. Okay, about an 8-lap race here as you see on the ticker. And one car hitting pit lane, that's Adam Kovac, so he must have had a jump.
He had a solid black flag.
Is that from a jump start?
No clue.
Thomas Lathrop chasing Azimuth Muhammad down here into turn 1. Azimuth was another driver that didn't get a qualifying time in, but was able to carve his way through. Maybe a blessing in disguise. Lathrop opens the door to the inside through Horseshoe, and they'll be side by side heading towards NASCAR Bend.
Side by side they will go. We'll see who's going to keep on it or give up. Lathrop trying to fight on the outside. He's able to do so as looks like Muhammad's going to give up on this. Or sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Dana Pasinski's going to give up on it as he rides behind Azimuth Muhammad.
Pasinski trying to claw his way forward here. Didn't have a qualifying time. I think that was representative of the pace he is capable of. Bruce Snake now into the climbing S. Is probably one of the most beautiful sections of racetrack in North America. Are they going to try side by side here? They sure will. Pasinski and Muhammad door to door. Muhammad gives up and gives in.
Yeah, I think he just struggled to get. I think he might have missed a gear. Whoa, that's major damage there.
Wow, that is Nicholas Fuller.
Really testing out the new damage model on this car.
Well, that damage is also new, isn't it? This was recent. Let's have a look at it. Well, this is the tail end of whatever caused him some strife. He was into left hook here, then into the snake, and I imagine he's just going to throttle up, catch some curbing just wrong, and big hit there.
Yeah, this thing doesn't have much power, but deployed in the wrong way, and you'll be in a world of hurt. Unfortunately for Fuller, he's going to have to try to get that thing back to the pits and then just kind of hope for the best for race 2.
Yeah, it doesn't have, you're right, it doesn't have a lot of power. It only has about 325 horsepower, but because of that solid rear axle, at times it really spins the tires easily on slow corner exits. It doesn't have a lot of rear grip. And especially when you overheat the tires, you slide around, things like that, it can hurt you. Andrew Pilata's run down DJ Alessandrini. So despite the dramas in the opening moments of this race, we're going to have a battle for the top spot between two very experienced drivers here in iRacing.
Yeah, this is what we love to see, especially DJ Alessandrini trying to fight off the competition, Andrew Pilata. Definitely one that can go toe-to-toe with Alessandrini. We've seen him pretty much almost every type of car. Usually see these two duking it out near the front of the field. They work their way through the second half of the track, through Snake, following each other nose to tail. And a solid separation there, 4 seconds clear of Peter Zhang in third.
Yeah, Zhang's just lingering back here, running nice lap times, but not able to match the leaders. All he's got to do is just stay in contention, just in case they tangle together. As we go back to now Lathrop and Basinski. Dana's gotten a good run through Snake, and we see him offset to the left there, trying to maybe distract Lathrop, but he'll have none of that.
Oh, and Dana Basinski's actually had to back off, has a furled black flag, he has to slow down. So trying to get that up, finally he's able to get it up, but lost a lot of time. Had some Muhammad's trying to catch back up to him now.
And Muhammad's got pressure from Andrew Hero and the number 14. Can close in here into Oak Tree. Try to throttle down, get this power on the ground as you leave, and try to ramp that outside. Use all the racetrack there and accelerate up the back straightaway. Madison Avenue is a great opportunity to use the slipstream, one of the longest back straightaways in North America. Uphill, but it undulates downward for a moment. We'll see if Hero can look left or look right. Muhammad goes defensive right in the center of the road. Here comes Hero.
Side by side, they'll go in the back straightaway. Will they be side by side by corner entry? No, it looks like Muhammad will yield. Hero up 1 spot into the top 10. Almost goes off the racetrack. Will go off the racetrack. Will just keep it ahead of Muhammad.
Now, the run-into roller coaster is one of those places that you're better off racing to, not racing through. It's really challenging to go through there side by side, and we've seen that that drama a number of times in the real world. Alessandrini and Pilata. Nose to tail here, 3/10 apart.
And just about halfway through this race already. And these two, again, very much clear of any competition near them. And I'm curious to see if Pilata is just going to kind of stick him behind in second, let Alessandrini push his stuff.
Yeah, about 3-4 car lengths between them. Here's a battle that continues to be pretty fierce. Muhammad and Hero now. I think 21, the Muhammad-driven car, tends to be a little quicker in these slower sections. Hero driving way hard into left hook. That's going to leave him vulnerable here, but where does Muhammad go? In the Snake section, it's really hard to get overlap here.
Yeah, it's the issue is that it's so hard to get that run through the corner because it's very much one lane, and then finally it opens up a little bit here. He's going to try to get some sort of slipstream before they head up the S's, but not quite close enough to make a move. Another battle that is close, however, is Mitchell Marhefka trying to hold off Will Long in the 88.
It's a battle for 4th just up the road here. The Marhefka in the blue 11 and Long in the 88, the red, white, and black car. You see how humid it is out there. Those long camera shots making it look even worse. Pilata's got a nice big run here on DJ Alessandrini. Is he going to look to the side? He's going to push DJ, and a little bit of competition here.
Trying to expand that lead out, so that way it's just between these two, but they're lapping a lot faster than the rest of the field, so really don't think anyone's going to really be able to catch them at this point. As you look at back here, this is, I think, Ryan Carwall and Murphy Nichols making a move on one another. And Nichols with the over-under can't quite get it back on roller coaster. It's such a tight section.
Yeah, really challenging. You can go through your side-by-side of the Miata if you want, but Mustangs, you know, remember that thing about ocean liners? It's like trying to dock 2 of them in the same dock. It just will not go. You need to get a tugboat to get these things turned back around, but up the front straightaway, you mentioned the Long and Marhefka battle. Look at these two pushing and shoving down the front stretch.
And Will Long looks like he's going to stay in behind Marhefka. Didn't feel like he had enough of an overlap.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, Nichols sending it in turn 1. I think sent it too long. Will go a little bit off the track for an excursion. Gets back on, but loses a lot of time to Carwile.
Yeah, he just tried to brake way later. I think that was at the 1 board into turn 1, and that just isn't going to work in a Mustang. Maybe in a Miata or a GR Cup car, that would have flown, but it drops down to 7th place as Carwile closes in on that battle for 4th you were talking about.
Yeah, now he has a little bit more chance to look ahead than in his rearview mirror, with Murphy Nichols having to try to catch back up to this group. So he can focus now on catching Will Long and Marhefka. Long looks like he's being a little bit more conservative. I guess he feels that Marhefka in the front is better leading at the moment, may wait for the last couple laps to make a move. That being said, he can't wait too long because Carwile and then Nichols eventually are going to start breathing down his neck.
Climbing S's here for the battle for 4th. half a second between the two leaders, Pilata and Alessandrini. I do think Pilata is waiting DJ out for a better opportunity. He knows how good DJ is at racecraft and doesn't want to give him the opportunity to return the favor once he completes a pass. Way up the straightaway, you see these two heading towards Roller Coaster.
They'll go down again. Still no move from Pilata. When they come across the line, it'll be 3 laps to go. You gotta wonder that 96 is plotting on making a move anytime sooner, unless he's gonna wait for the final lap.
Our half cut doesn't feel the need to go defensive here on Will Long. Maybe they're trying to work together to catch Peter Zhang. I just don't know. Zhang's quicker than the two of them, so I don't think that there's much of a reason to coordinate. I think their battle will be for 4th unless there's some drama ahead, which I suppose very well could happen.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're catching Peter Zhang, at least based off the last lap time. They lost time last lap by about 0.5 of a second. Here's something. Pilata goes to the inside of Alessandrini in turn 1.
Oh, a little bit of contact there maybe. I don't know if it was close, but now they're door to door here. Alessandrini on the left, Pilata on the right. NASCAR bend, advantage DJ. Tough to hold this line on the inside, though. He's going to get there. Pilata doesn't have the ability to cross him over. Great clean fight between those two.
Yeah, had a great run through turn 2 into NASCAR bend. Here's the battle between, I believe this is Muhammad and Hero duking it out. Hero will stay ahead of Muhammad in the 21 machine. He tries to go out wide, almost goes out a bit too wide. And Albert, no, he's starting to enter the picture there from 12th place.
Yeah, not a bad run there for the 181 if he can pass both these cars. I think Hero's driving off his rear tires a bit. We saw earlier, especially through NASCAR bend, he was struggling to get the car slowed down, but he's learned a bit, even with pressure from the 21 behind. Carwile caught Will Long. Battles on between these two. This is for 5th, and you see them chasing each other through the climbing S. Is such an awesome section of racetrack. So much more elevation there. Your stomach drops out of you as you come over some of these crests and down towards Oak Tree Corner.
Yeah, now officially a 4-way battle for 4th place, but looking at this battle, particularly for 5th, between these two, and you can see Murphy Nichols got back up to Ryan Carwile. I think he still wants that spot back.
So 4-horse race for 4th place. All the while the two leaders way up the road. You see them there, still nose to tail. Close quarters here. I think Pilata trying to set up a run into turn 1. I don't know that Roller Coaster is the place to pass with these cars. They're not really agile enough or have strong enough brakes to make that lunge into Roller Coaster successful. Carwile's a little deep into the corner. Long's going to go side by side.
Yeah, Long is trying to retake the spot back with Carwile with the move. He went in deep. They are still side by side through Hogpen now. Carwile's just going to be able to carry that momentum around the outside and take 5th place away from Will Long. Now here comes Murphy Nichols picking up the pieces. He's going to get a slipstream on Long.
Yeah, great battle here, and for the lead, Alessandrini's wide again, leaving Horseshoe. Same thing we saw last lap, but Pilata noses ahead here into this left-hand corner. It's such a hard line to stick to. He's going to have to cross him over, but DJ gets such a better run on defense out of there that he'll hang on for now. 2 laps to go.
It's really tough being on the outside into NASCAR bend. You're at a severe disadvantage, especially when the driver to your inside has that overlap where they can just throw it into the corner, which DJ's been able to benefit from. So Pilata might have to switch up the strategy. I know you said you don't ideally want to make a pass in a roller coaster, but he is running out of options.
Well, he can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result in a NASCAR bend. He's going to have to pinch DJ or try something more interesting than that. I mean, I was at VIR a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a lot of passes go wrong there in a NASCAR bend. Usually it was the person on the inside muscling the outside driver, so I just don't think that there's a way for Pilata to win that fight against DJ. You have to either get to his inside there or try a different corner.
Look at this battle still going on. Will Long trying to catch back up to Murphy Nichols after losing 2 spots to Ryan Carwile and Nichols, but Will Long, he's starting to enter Dana Basinski's target sights, and he's about to mount an attack here for 7th place.
Richard Sawicki's gone around here. I think this was at NASCAR bend. Might have been all on his own. Actually, yeah, just clipped the curb there, got too much out of it, went around for a slow spin. And Andrew Hero's in the wall at Oak Tree, rather.
How did this happen?
He lost a spot to Azmuth Muhammad. Drives in there really deep, and it just goes straight. Oh, nope. Something was weird there. See the steering on that car?
Yeah, I think he might. I'm trying to confirm here and see on the onboard if he had. Oh, he had a I think he had a steering wheel disconnect.
Yep, that is USB is disconnected. That is frustrating for Andrew Hero. It'll end a very strong race that he had. Will Long, Dana Basinski up the front straightaway. Their battle is still raging on, and they're going to go side by side here. Basinski looking for 7th.
Yeah, I think Will Long's already lost 2 positions recently. I doubt he really wants to lose another one here as the leaders take the white flag. 1 more lap to go, side by side for position for them. Long defending on the inside. Basinski going to have to take the long way around in turn 1.
If you can hold this here, you'll have that inside groove into NASCAR Bend, which is what we were talking about. Basinski gets a decent run. If he can get some overlap here, and he will, we'll have a great positioning here on Will Long, but you have to be so conservative, and now Long's going to run the outside and carry some great speed.
And up ahead of them, this 3-way fight here. Michel Marafka trying to hold off Ryan Carwell and Murphy Nichols charging in behind. 3-way battle for 4th.
This is going to get even fiercer towards the end. More fiercer by the end of this lap. Marafka and Carwell, this is going to be an awesome fight. 3/10 between the 2 race leaders. We'll take you there if it gets interesting. Ooh, and we're going to take you there now because Pilata got a great run. He's looking right, he's looking left, and it's going to be a drag race up Madison Avenue, side by side for the lead on the last straightaway here before we get to roller coaster and the run to the checkered flag.
Yeah, DJ messed up the entry into Oak Tree, and that's where Pilata's able to take advantage. This is what he needed. This is the run he needed. Can he execute, though, heading the left-hander into roller coaster? Neither driver giving it in side by side.
Who's later on the brakes? They both are. DJ pulls ahead. Pilata's got a tough line to cling to on the inside here. They're going to go door to door, down the hill in roller coaster. Alessandrini and Pilata trying to muscle their way ahead through Hogpen now, still side by side. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the finish. This is going to be an exciting thriller. Checkered flag for the first time in a while in the GRIDLIFE iRacers series, and it's Pilata and Alessandrini nose to nose at the stripe, and I think Pilata got him by 7/1000ths of a second.
Oh man, I don't know what it is with VAR and drag races lately. We've been having quite a few of them towards the line. Looking here, this is the battle for 4th place between Marafka and Carwell, and it looks like it'll be Marafka over Carwell for 4th and 5th.
5/1000ths of a second as the timing corrects. That's one of the closest finishes I've seen in a road race in years. That was unbelievable. How about that? And it was just so tight between them here as they came to the checkers. I mean, this is about as close as you're going to get on a road course. Look at that.
Yeah, if you want to go to TV2 for the side shot. There you go.
I don't know if I can even get a frame that I need out of this, but that, I mean, that's effectively it. That is a bumper at VIR. Look at that. 5/1000ths of a second, and it was just this awesome, clean, fair race. I don't think they touch each other once. It's so humid I can't even see it.
Hey, the balloon doesn't really work with how humid it is. But yeah, Pilata, all he really had to do is just keep that outside run because those last 2 corners are going to keep him on the outside. Gets that better run, slightly better run down the front straightaway, and does just enough to get a momentum on DJ and pass him in the last second.
What a fun battle here for the first race of the night. Let us have a look at the race results briefly before the session ticks over. 5/1000ths of a second is the margin of victory there. Then 10 seconds back to Peter Zhang on the podium. Marafka, Carwell, Nichols, Basinski, Long, Lathrop, and Muhammad. The rest of your top 10. Will Long will be promoted to pole for the second race here shortly.
Yeah, that was a decent run for him. I'm sure he's going to be happy to be near the front of the field after getting overtaken quite a bit. We got Albert No, Adam Komack, Richard Sawicki, Raul Iriardi, Nicholas Fuller, Hero, Cobb, Kerr, and I think that just about rounds it up as we tick on over and we get immediately set for race number 2.
Yep, and this is what I like about the rapid fire method here. Super close finish, and we're going to get to do it all over again, but we're going to bury those top 2. Down in 7th and 8th for this race start. Will Long, Dana Basinski on the front row. Can they survive this up at the pointy end? Just like GLTC, our invert was 11 in race 4 on Saturday, last weekend at Road America. And I guess at this point, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil it. The pole sitter of that invert won the race, so we'll see if Long can hang on to it.
He's going to be hoping for that kind of luck to help him out here. I think he's going to need to hope for a little bit of carnage, similar to what we saw in race number 1. At the start of race number 1, he wants to have a little bit of a lead and a little bit of an advantage.
So starting lineup is on the left-hand side of your screen. You'll see Azimuth Muhammad down in 10th place. He'll get another chance to move his way forward. So will Thomas Lathrop. And those that didn't get such good runs the first time, did Austin Cobb get on grid?
Not yet, still waiting on him.
We had a frustrating start to the night. He would have to drive through the field, which is never all that much fun. Calm before the storm here, I think.
Looks like a storm's about to come through with the humidity and the clouds.
I would believe it if
sky.
this car had rain tires, but anyway, here we go. Time to go racing for the second time tonight. This is the final race of the evening. Will Long on pole by virtue of the invert. And here we go. Green flag at Virginia International Raceway.
Really solid start for Peter Zhang, getting up through the gears. Going to pass one, maybe two cars as he goes side by side with Murphy Nichols. But for the lead, Basinski and Long side by side.
Yeah, I think Zhang could really be a threatening one here. Big
Basinski
sideways. No, that was that was Carwile sideways, I think. And now there goes Peter Zhang as well.
Oh no!
And Andrew Pilata is off.
Yeah, Basinski was a little bit sideways. He was able to save it. A lot of the guys near the back not able to do as much.
And the starts have been tricky tonight, haven't they? Look at this behind. Albert No on defense here from Adam Koback. Little side-by-side. Austin Cobb trying to work his way through the field.
Yeah, I think it's the cold tires that everyone's trying to get used to. The car typically doesn't do standing starts. You get about a lap or half a lap to warm up, get at least a little bit of temperature in them.
Oh, I think Cobb's going to try to do this side-by-side into the S's, isn't he? Try to get some overlap there on Richard Sawicki. Didn't quite get there. Up the climbing S's for the first time. This is tight quarter stuff here in these big boats of cars.
Really is tough as they go almost side by side here. Austin Cobb going to go the over-under to the inside, heading into Orb Tree.
Got to the inside of Sawicki nice and cleanly, and Sawicki I think is off course in the grass center across the racetrack and off into the scenery.
Going to try to get the car fired back up and put powered in the right direction. Will Long still leading over Dana Basinski, Murphy Nichols, Marhefka, and Alessandrini up to 5th.
Yes, the first car to break in that big slide at the opening corner was Ryan Carwile. Everyone dodged and weaved to miss him. But as far as the shuffled order, the top three, I think, are still as they were. Long, Basinski, and then Nichols now. And then Alessandrini from 8th up to 5th. And with Pilata gone, they better hope they can hold him off for a while because he will be charging forward. He was multiple seconds quicker than most of the people in this front pack last race.
Yeah, in his major competition, Peter Zhang and Andrew Pilata, they're out of it at the moment. They're way down the order. So you can't really expect to hear much from them for this race. As we look at the 55, and Murphy Nichols gets a run on Basinski, looks to his outside. Yeah,
going to be tricky to make this pass on the outside. Look at the over-under there, though, from Murphy Nichols. That was savvy. And Will Long missed a shift, I think. It's going to bring both these second and third place cars into the mix. Where do you go? What do you do? In a NASCAR bench, side by side for second, and the battle's on for the lead.
Oh, Murphy Nichols caught some grass on the entry, gets sideways, goes off the track trying to save it. He will lose 2 spots, get relegated back to 5th.
That will shift Mitch Marhefka up to a podium spot. Alessandrini gets promoted to 4th, and here look at Basinski dirt tracking it through Snake here. And Will Long just trying to get through the gears. Doesn't seem like he can get up to speed as quickly as Dana Basinski. And Alessandrini's past Marhefka, so up to 3rd place now. The clock is ticking.
I think Marhefka might have had a slowdown, only kind of jumped on the brakes on the straightaway and lost quite a few spots. So Alessandrini up to 3rd and closing in on our 2 leaders.
5 car lengths between them now. Look at the charge from Basinski. He's in a little hot, but he got it rotated nicely. Albert No and Austin Cobb making position swap back here. Cobb up to 7th place from the tail of the field.
You're on the outside of Oak Tree to get around Albert No, so he's up to 7th as Marhefka and company just up ahead of them down the back straightaway.
Up into roller coaster now. You dip down, then you head over this crest, and here comes Basinski with a run for the lead. Side by side, watch Will Long's right side tires. You don't want to be in the grass there. Basinski, the long way around, he takes the top spot away.
They lost a lot of speed, timing there because here comes Alessandrini right in behind them, knocking on the door, ready to take that lead back.
And he set up a great exit here through Hog Pen. He's going to blow by Will Long, I imagine, unless he assists him by Dana Basinski. He's going to look to the right. There's a lane open. Basinski's going to come down and cover. Oh, contact!
Oh!
And Will Long goes for a wild ride on the front straightaway. He'll straighten it back out. That'll give Dana a few seconds as Lathrop dives for the grass. And here comes Murphy Nichols.
Yeah, a couple cars were on the grass trying to avoid the disaster there on the front straightaway.
We'll go back and look at that again, but Alessandrini back to second place. It's going to be hard to get a look at it from the top down because of all the fog. Thought there was space for the Alessandrini machine to be there, so he pokes to the inside. Does Long just kind of chase him over there? Sorta, yeah. I mean, we can't get a look from high above here.
Yeah, it looks like Alessandrini went left and
he
Long
did go
went
left,
right.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have just target fixated there a little bit and spun Long out, but track curves there. It's a little bit of a weird front straightaway. And it caught both of them off guard there, I think. But Long back to 10th, DJ back to second. It's the second and a half now with 5 laps to go next time by.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap for Basinski to work with, not much. It's going to be dropping down rapidly, so he needs to come up with a game plan for when Alessandrini finally gets there, how he wants to deal with the situation. Murphy Nichols has caught up to Alessandrini, so I think that might be a driver we could see put up a fight. Same thing could throw Lathrop into that conversation as well in the number 7. He's not too far behind the 55.
But Dana hasn't laid down a best lap yet because he's gone off course or dropped the center of the car off course every lap since the race has started, so he is absolutely pushing. But despite his best effort, still a full second and a half slower than DJ's best, which he ran last time around. Murphy Nichols is keeping DJ honest, but I don't know if Dana's got the pace to hold off this number 10.
I don't think so either, but we always say catching is one thing, passing is another. And we'll have to see Basinski's defensive skills at work. He wants to have a chance at winning this race here. The gap down about a second.
That time was a 2:03.0 for Basinski, and that was actually, that's tied DJ's best time. So out front here, when he can focus on the road ahead, he's able to match DJ's pace now, but the question is, will he be able to sustain that with DJ in the slipstream?
4 or 5 laps, especially.
Yeah.
Murphy Nichols in the braking zone, caught a little bit of grass there on the entry. He's still close and behind the number 10 machine.
The best thing for Dana is that Murphy gets up here and harasses DJ for a lap or two. That might just buy him enough time, but even still, 3/10 gain for DJ in the first sector over Basinski.
Yeah, and he's up way faster than his previous lap already. Of course, the last lap having with that spin. But he's working pretty quick, Alessandrini, and we're already about to catch him by the time they get to that back straightaway.
Albert No lost Adam Kobach. A little bit of a battle here with Raul Iriardi right behind. DJ closed a big way into Oak Tree, didn't he? Closed that from 8/10 down to 3.
Yeah, Murphy Nichols actually made a mistake. He went a little bit wide in Oak Tree, caught some grass, and he lost quite a bit of time. So now it's just between Alessandrini and Basinski.
It's not the two-car tango that you want to have with so long left in the race. DJ's coming with a big head of steam. He's going to be patient and sit in behind, all the while Austin Cobb and Mitch Morhefka battle for 5th.
It looks like Cobb's going to win out of that exchange. Makes a dive on Morhefka. He'll take 5th place away. Trying to see he can join up in the mix. I think he's just kind of hoping Basinski holds up DJ for as long as he can so he can get up there and have a swing.
Onto the front stretch. I think this is where Dana's going to have a really hard time holding off DJ. DJ goes left, and he's got enough momentum. I think he's, well, I thought he might have had a chance to completely clear him, but he's not going to.
I think the straightaway curving gives the guy on the inside just a little bit of an advantage. Basinski very conservative on the entry. It's going to be a conservative exit as well.
Yeah.
Alessandrini's got that left-hand side of the track, and we know he likes to throw it into the inside of NASCAR bend. He'll even clear before they get there.
Yeah, he knows how to play that corner very well. And he'll take the top spot there in NASCAR bend. Basinski to second. And he'll be hard-pressed to keep pace with him here. But you're going to learn a lot following Alessandrini. Look at the little better run here into Snake, but look at that Mustang just drive away as soon as he throttles down.
Yeah, Alessandrini's really been nailing the exits, and I think that's where he's been catching out a lot of people, just being able to not only enter the corner well, but also exit well. Ooh. got a spin there, and Snake, is that Albert? No, I think it is, dropping down.
See what happened to Albert here. He was kind of all by himself into left hook. Dumps the curb there.
I was going to say, I think he might have got too much curve. I think that's been the story we've been seeing quite a bit. Nope.
Dropped the
cuts of grass.
Yeah. Dropped the tire, easy to do there. Kept it straight and out of the fence. That's all you can ask at a moment like that, but he's being hounded by Andrew Hero in the 14, who was on a bit of a recovery drive after a technical failure in race 1.
And it looks like with the battling, Murphy Nichols caught back up. It's a 3-car battle for the lead now. As you look here at this battle further down the order.
This is Will Long, Raul Uriarty in the orange number 4. You see the shift and the difference there as Raul pulled ahead for a moment. That's been Will Long's trouble spot tonight, just getting through the gears cleanly. Old-fashioned H-pattern gearbox. iRacing will let you get away with a lot of stuff you can't do in a real car with these H-pattern boxes, but you still have to be efficient through the gears. And
yeah,
sometimes I find if you clutch in and you let the car rev and don't lift, that, you know, when the clutch is spooling back down, you're actually losing forward bite and forward efficiency. So really lifting off the throttle and shifting the old-fashioned way is the way to do it. As Basinski has a look at Alessandrini in turn 1.
Yeah, I think let's try to see if you can spook DJ a little bit. Maybe Medic can make a mistake in turn 1, but that is always easier said than done when it comes to talking about DJ Alessandrini. Basinski and Nichols keeping him honest in behind. Lathrop and Cobb trying to catch back up in a distant 4th and 5th.
Now, these two drivers have not had a chance to race against each other yet in the real world. Alessandrini raced at Carolina Motorsports Park earlier this year in GLTC. Basinski's running started at Midwest Fest, and he ran Mid-Ohio and Road America. We have not seen DJ back just yet since CMP, as Cobb and Lathrop up the climbing S's. A little bit of a battle for 4th here, and this is a great drive for Cobb with how far back he started and how much work he's gotten done.
Yeah, it was all over the back of Lathrop entering the S's. We almost thought he was going to make a dive, but decided to think better of it. I think he's waiting to see if he can get a better run here out of Oak Tree on the back straightaway. Maybe make a dive in a roller coaster. Battle for 4th.
The Revs climb there as he dumps the clutch in. Coming to 2 laps to go next time by, and DJ Alessandrini, Dana Basinski, and Murphy Nichols lead the way in their FR500 Mustangs. Nichols has a lunge at Basinski into roller coaster.
Thought to see maybe if Basinski was going to go defensive on the left, on the right-hand side of the racetrack where you can make a move on the left, but nothing done. As you look at Andrew Pilata and Andrew Hero duking it out for 12th place.
A little scrap here. Pilata recovering from, you see the damage on the nose of that car from the contact on the opening lap. Dodging and weaving past some stricken cars. Not the night there, or the end of the night he was hoping for after a pretty phenomenal finish. 0.005 of a second between the two in race 1.
Looking at Cobb and Lathrop go side by side. Cobb going to make a move on the outside, almost clear Lathrop into the braking zone. Goes a little bit too deep. And here comes Lathrop charging back on the inside. I think we'll clear the 136. He does.
Yeah, Cobb left some margin, but maybe a bit too much. He's going to get some overlap here in the NASCAR bend. He's got the spotter activated and side by side through NASCAR. Nice space left there between those two, and Marhefka's got a great view of all of it from behind. Which lane's going to prevail? Cobb's.
Not quite. They're coming back. Then it's double right-hander here. The first one, then the second one into Snake. Very slow down, trying to get 2 cars side by side through there. And it'll be Cobb that'll win out. Marhefka going to try to follow on through.
What a thing of beauty that was, watching 2 drivers in big cars navigate Snake. Now Marhefka and Lathrop will try to do the same thing here in the S's. They will sort it out. Marhefka up to 5th. Lathrop loses 2 spots in the first sector, but fair play amongst all 3 of those drivers. That's the expectation that we see in GRIDLIFE Touring Cup, and they're going to carry that attitude and talent and skill over to GRIDLIFE iRacers Series.
Cobb went a little bit wide, sorry.
Let's just say someone's poking out over here. Been a foggy, dreary day in VIR.
It has been very humid, very sticky. As Marhefka tries to get a slipstream on Austin Cobb down the straightaway. Both of them pass at Lathrop, and now going to try to duke it amongst themselves for 4th.
Alessandrini's got a 7/10 of a second advantage here over Dana Basinski. The battles are elsewhere. Iriardi and Long, this is for 7th into roller coaster. See a little lateral slide there by the 4.
Yeah, I've not seen a whole lot of Iriardi as we look at the leaders come to take the white flag. There goes Alessandrini with a decent gap to Basinski, and then Nichols also a decent way in 3rd. Meanwhile, the group in 4th coming on through relatively nose to tail. They still got some feist left in them, I think. And actually, speaking of which, here comes Will Long, a move on Iriardi looking to the left-hand side.
Side by side here into turn 1. Big lunge from Will Long in the 88. Pulls even with the 4. But if he could just keep that overlap in a NASCAR bend, he'll have an opportunity. He will, but just.
Here comes Kevin Zhu now looking on the right-hand side, trying to join the fray here for 7th. Not quite able to get that overlap, had to back out a NASCAR bend. And they'll be nose to tail. A couple groups duking it out towards the end here, nose to tail, and I think a lot of dives are going to happen on that back straightaway.
This is a lot of fun. Big jump over the curb there for Iriardi through Snake, and climbing the climbing S's for the final time. It's all a battle outside of the top 5. It is 1 second between Alessandrini and Basinski. Look at the run Long's got, but you can't do much with it here. Have to save it, bottle it up, and release that potential energy somewhere else on course.
Oh, in behind Kevin Zhu caught some grass. He is drifting through that corner. He saved it. Wow. Great driving from the 2.
That was a wild slide there. This battle's not over yet between these two. 3/10 of a second between those. What?
I was going to say, I think Will Long's going to have to make a move this time, but I don't think he can really wait to try to make a move on the front straightaway like we saw with Plata.
I mean, we learned last time that you can do that, but it helps if you're alongside before then, too, just to compromise the exits. Well, race 1 was a pretty epic battle. We saw a margin of victory of just 5/1000ths of a second in the first race, but DJ Alessandrini muscles his way through some early race carnage, pulls his way up to the front from 8th, and he'll win race 2 of the night. Basinski 2nd, Murphy Nichols 3rd, then Cobb and Marhefka 4th and 5th, and Iriardi and Long. This will be a drag race here between these two. Long's got a big run coming. He's going to poke out to the left. Does he have momentum to get there? It's going to be close. He will not. Iriardi gets that position by about 1/10 of a second.
If he was able to make a move to the inside, I think he would have been able to make enough of a run, but so close yet so far.
It was less than 1/10. It was about 3 or 4 hundredths between those two. But that was a lot of fun. First race back at the GRIDLIFE iRacers series in some time. I think the highlight of the night was this battle coming to the checkers between Andrew Pilata and DJ Alessandrini at the end of race 1. This has got to be, it's not the closest road racing finish we've ever had, Finian, but it's awful close. 5/1000ths of a second here between these two at the stripe.
Yeah, and like I mentioned before, I don't know what it is with that final corner, but we've seen on SimTV at least 3 drag races to the line, side by side at the line, across several different cars, mind you. So just some fantastic racing here from VIR. DJ Alessandrini gets the win in race number 2, with Plata getting the win in race number 1. Dana Basinski 2nd, Murphy Nichols 3rd, Cobb and Marhefka rounding out your top 5.
Well, if you want to see more of this, I'm not going to guarantee that we're doing a series in the middle of the heat of the summer with so much else going on, but I did say that if we could rally and convince DJ, pin him down and waterboard him until he'll agree to let us run some multi-class racing, I'd love to see the O'Reilly DP out there in a classic Grand Am style show. So I broke out the old classic Grand Am ticker, or not the Grand Am ticker, the classic Grand Am logo there in the bottom left. I've been sitting on that for a while. I'd like to use it in its full entirety with an old classic speed style broadcast. So if everyone can convince DJ to do that, we could have some real fun around here. But otherwise, this might just be a one-off. Look down the rest of the order. Pilata down to 11th. Peter Zhang, Nicholas Fuller, and Richard Sawicki had some issues there in race 2. So did Asmath Muhammad. But that was a lot of fun. We'll see if anybody pops in for an interview here, Finian. We'll give him a minute or two. But I really like this car. I really like this racetrack and the combination of fun it brings.
Yeah, really, really fun combination. And, you know, some may argue it's a little bit too tricky to get some close racing, but we just show that it's definitely possible with the talent that we have in this series. And especially that battle to the end in race number 1 was absolutely fantastic to watch. And all the mini battles we've seen throughout the night, a couple battles for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Everyone close together, giving each other respect and fighting really hard to the end.
Great, great stuff. Hey, we got someone popping in. Murphy Nichols ended up 3rd on the finish there in race number 2. Murphy had some pace for the leaders there, but just needed a little bit more. Take us through your night and the battle up there at the front in race 2.
Yeah, it was a good race. I'm so terrible with names. I honestly couldn't even tell you who it was, but we had a really good battle all the way through. I've definitely made a couple mistakes throughout the event, and I think in the end that's why I ended up finishing 3rd, and he ended up finishing 2nd. Obviously, DJ taking home the W this evening. Congrats to him for having an awesome night, and thank you for putting on this event for all of you guys. But it was a good event. It was good to get back out here. I haven't raced the Mustang in a long time, and it's definitely changed since the last time I did a bunch of stuff with it, but it's good to always wheel this thing around, as it's a lot more similar to my real life car than I'd care to admit, but it's always fun nonetheless.
Well, it seemed like the starts were especially challenging. Standing starts into turn 1. It's a challenging corner at VIR in the first place, but it seemed like drivers were really struggling with rear grip in that first corner. How sketchy was it on those opening laps?
Oh, I mean, it's very sketchy, those opening laps. This car I feel like it always has been, but especially ever since they updated it, it's been notorious with just terrible rear grip for the first lap or two. So DJ was 100% right at the start, where it was more about just keeping the car underneath of you, trying to race the guy, especially clean those first couple laps, especially that first turn, as it's a hard braking zone, a lot of checkups, a lot of misreads, and definitely led to some unfortunate incidents for a lot of our drivers tonight. I'm very fortunate that I was not involved with that, but my biggest thing was if I can keep the car underneath of me for that first lap or so, then I should be golden throughout the rest of the event.
Well, good stuff, Murphy. Congratulations on a job well done. Podium finish for you in race 2, and hope to see you next time, whenever that is.
Absolutely. I'll be back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And DJ Alessandrini, man, you made up for your loss there in race 1, winning there by about 1.4 seconds. But how about that race 1 finish? 5 1,000ths of a second. One of the closest finishes I've seen in a road race in quite some time.
My screen has said 4 1,000ths of a second.
Okay.
I did not lose by that much, Kyle. Come on. Yeah, I was excited to see Pilata in the race, just because I know he's really quick in these things. So I was excited that I was going to have a race, and I tried to pull the old Kenton Cook on him in Oak Tree, but he didn't fall for it. He played that really well, and then yeah, we just left each other just enough room in those snaking last couple corners, and yeah, that was a pretty fun one. I think if I would have moved away so the side draft was a little harder right out of hog pen, I think that was enough for those 4,000ths of a second, but I just didn't move away from them fast enough.
Yeah, of course, race 2 and race 1, we had some trouble at turn 1. Those standing starts right into a corner. Mustang's not built for that, but cold tires, it seemed like it was slick on the opening lap.
Yeah, I warned people about it on race 1, and then I think 15 minutes later, everyone's goldfish brains forgot about the cold tires. So it was, I don't know if you saw my point of view, Kyle, but it was, I had to park it like 4 different times from people that looked like they got flipped. They spun so fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a nautical theme there with the goldfish brains and us kind of likening these things to steering an ocean liner, but it was a lot of fun to watch you charge through the field there, and man, what a fun night it was with that close finish there at the start. Now, can I convince you to let me have a Riley DP with this in a multi-class race sometime?
Ooh, who's going to drive the Riley? That thing's so awful to drive.
I mean, you're not wrong, but maybe somebody will.
Yeah, there's going to be a single person driving. He's going to be 800 I rating, and it's going to be... and his bonus points is going to be how many Mustangs can he murder.
Oh, good point. Dang it, dude. I just want to do 2008 Grand Am one time.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll put out a poll, and if people want to drive the Riley, I think it's still on V6 tires.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
But I want to see it out there. I got this old Grand Am logo I'm sitting on I want to use, DJ. So
okay.
We'll make it happen.
The C7 DP isn't too bad. That's on a newer tire model.
That is true. I wouldn't mind that either. But then we got to do something. We got to do GT3s then as a second class to make it.
You do the older
GT3s. Yeah, all the retired ones. Because I want to be accurate.
Oh. Okay.
DJ's
we'll
like, this
spitball
nerd
it.
doesn't like fun.
I'm like, this guy doesn't have to drive it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah. Anyways, that was a fun one, DJ. Thanks for having us. That was a blast, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yep. Thanks for broadcasting, guys. We really appreciate it.
Of course. We'll see you next time.
All right, later.
Oh boy, that was fun. Yeah, he's right. None of us have to drive the Riley DP. Everyone else would, but I could be convinced. And maybe I'll bring out old Fox Sports ticker like we started for the
Oh yeah,
old
that's
C7 DP, but that'd be fun.
that's a throwback.
Sure is. Man, what a night though, Finian. Final thoughts on VIR with the Mustangs. Man, driving this sack of potatoes can be pretty entertaining sometimes, huh?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is entertaining seeing drivers on the edge of grip trying to hustle this car around a very technical racetrack. It always ends up putting on a show in some way, shape, or form, and it definitely did tonight.
Well, that'll wrap things up here from GRIDLIFE iRacers, a one-off here with the FR500 Mustang at VIR. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.